Well, good morning. It's a beautiful day, and it's a good day to celebrate another great project. And we are standing in Highland Park, which is one of Albuquerque's oldest parks. We have 300-ish parks. How many parks we got?
300-ish parks.
We have
almost 300.
We have almost 300 parks in the city of Albuquerque. We are one of the great park cities in America, and that is something that we should celebrate every day. And this park is one of our oldest, and as I said, it was established in 1900. One of the fun things about being a mayor is I get to go around the city that I came to as a young man and kind of reminisce a little bit. Not that it really matters to this story, but I spent a lot of evenings in the press club when I was in my 20s. I was in a group called the 2030 Club. And we were a bunch of young guys that decided we wanted to do some civic engagement in the community, so we started working with All Face Receiving Home, et cetera, raising money, and I think we raised a little over $1 million in 10 years, mostly for the charities that help children who have been victims of abuse. And we used to meet right there, so I used to come to this park all the time, and really, so it's nostalgic for me. But this Whittlesey House, I always get the name wrong, was built in 1903, and then the Albuquerque Press Club purchased it back in the 1970s, and it is still their headquarters today. So it's a cool place to be. When they opened Park Central, I remember having a conversation, and Rob Dixon just reminded me it was 7 years ago that they opened that. Is that right, Rob? One of the first conversations they had was, hey, it'd be nice to do something with the park across the street. We know we have a very active neighborhood association, people who've invested their lives in this neighborhood. We wanted to make it better for them. And so here we are. We're going to celebrate this today. And frankly, we wouldn't be here without Councilor Benton. So he'll talk to you in just a minute. But really, the big push goes to Barbara Taylor, Councilor Benton, our staff at the Parks Department, who I'll introduce in just a minute. And I get the honors of coming up and kicking this off today. But we did a couple of things. Wanted to make sure that we preserve the park's historic character. When we have something special, we want to make sure we honor it, even though we're bringing it up to date. We did some energy efficiency work. We replaced the lights with LED lighting so we can save energy and do things that are good for the environment. We planted some new trees. We can always use new trees, especially when we have some of our older parks where they have the old elm trees. And those are actually against the law to plant now, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Because they're so invasive and they do so much damage. But like anything else, they have a lifespan, and when they get old, they need to be replaced because they die. So we did that. We also wanted to have a pedestrian plaza, which you can see behind you. We replaced the old 35-year-old irrigation system. I remember, one of the perennial news stories is who's the biggest water waster? Well, it shouldn't be the city. And sometimes it is. And so every chance we get, we will go through and replace these old irrigation systems. And I'm happy to tell you that the preliminary tests show that this is one of the better places. In fact, it says a great deal of thought was put into this new irrigation system to ensure the efficient use of water through the loss of runoff, because you can see the steep hills. And preliminary testing shows almost no water waste. So congratulations to the folks that designed and built that irrigation system. So Highland Park's new lease on life, I think, is going to provide the neighborhood and Albuquerque and people that come to visit many more decades of enjoyment, just enjoying the place that we live and call home. Special thanks go to the taxpayers. As always, this is your money, and we're reinvesting it in your community. $700,000, $742,000 exactly. 226 came from the 2013 GEO bond, so the voters voted for this, and 516 from the 2015 GEO bond cycle, so thank you for that. Our designers, again, Morrow, Reardon, Wilkinson, and Miller have done just a tremendous job. Greg Miller, Barbara, first thing she said to me was another great design by Greg Miller, so congratulations to the design team. The Union Highlands Neighborhood Association, Ben Sturge. Ben, thank you so much. I think you're going to say a few words here in a minute. Of course, Parks and Recreation Department, Barbara Taylor, her team, David Flores, our senior landscape architect, Susanna Abbey, senior project manager for this project. We talked about the architect, but our Lee Landscapes, great job, great construction on this. Aaron Scott, Tui Treviso, and Lee Scott, want to say thank you for that as well. So let's get Councilor Benton up here, because he's really been the lead on this, and I have appreciated working with him. It's just been an exciting time for downtown, for Edo, These neighborhood associations are taking it to the next level. Appreciate each and every one of you for what you're doing, and our city staff, we're here to serve you. And I think there's been some of the most exciting things happen downtown and in East Downtown, now West Downtown, that have happened for a long time in Albuquerque, and I'm happy that we've been able to do some of these things together. So, Councilor Benton, appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. And I always inevitably start off by thanking the Mayor for his support for the Center City in the last few years. It's really been refreshing, and obviously you weren't here for it all. That was in a different time when we got the hotel built here. But look at where we are. I mean, from what was, right? The hotel is a wonderful place. Everybody, if you haven't been to the roof deck, you've got to go. I guess everybody here at present company has probably been up there, but it's a great place to take your guests. Anyway, I don't know. I digress. We appreciate the commitment to the Center City. A lot of the times we would hear, I don't care about that part of town. I live up in the Heights. I don't need to go there. I'm not going down there unless it's to pay my water tax bill or something, straighten out a water bill. That attitude has changed in my 12 years on the council. I'm so happy to say. I really am. There's a citywide understanding about that we didn't have previously, so it's great. You heard the term, it's a long, hard road, right? This is a short, hard road. We had to have barroom brawls out there outside of the press club over what the design of this was going to be, but we got past all that, and I really appreciate the press club. It's an incredible entity in our community, and it speaks for itself. So I also appreciate the design work by Greg Miller, and I think we just have to keep the momentum going. It's a tough time during construction of the roadway, but it's going to be a better roadway, so I have to keep that in mind. Anyway, hats off. Also, again, kudos to Parks Department, working with Director Taylor. Mr. Flores is always a joy, and more than anything, the neighborhood. When I first came on the council, this neighborhood was like a stop everything neighborhood, because we stop it all because we want to determine what it is. And instead, now we have a neighborhood that's really understanding that we need, we've got to move forward. We're in the 21st century, and it doesn't look like it sometimes. So we've always got to be moving forward on modern infrastructure, not just infrastructure that's built for a lot of highways. This park, part of it went up and included the highway at one time. But anyway, I'm happy to be a small part of it, but I really want to thank the neighborhood. Also, the neighborhood has stepped up and is reforesting their own neighborhood, not just the park, but on their own initiative. We helped out with some set aside, but they did all the work, and Parks helped, of course, again, to get the trees in. But that's the kind of work we need to be doing in our neighborhoods to restore that canopy, Mayor. Yeah, we have the evidence right behind us. These trees aren't long for this world, so we've got to replace them. So that's a huge, important interest of mine. Anyway, thanks to everybody who helped out for this.
Thanks. Ben, come on up, man. So Ben Sturge is the Neighborhood Association representative, and this is all driven by the neighborhoods. We're just here to serve them, and let's let the real leadership tell you what's going on around here.
Okay, thanks, Mayor. I'm not a seasoned public speaker, so you're going to see me just staring at this piece of paper. But I wrote something on behalf of the whole neighborhood. So many of us have worked tirelessly over the years, renovating and preserving the historic homes in the neighborhood. So to have the city put such an effort into our local park that matches our own hard work is very gratifying, very much appreciated. So on behalf of the neighborhood of Union Highland, we give sincere thanks to the Parks Department, the Mayor, Councilman Benton, and the whole city of Albuquerque for this just incredible renovation of Highland Park. I'd also like to give a loud shout out to the late, great Bill Hoke, without whom this neighborhood and park would perhaps not have survived the dark days of disinterest and abandonment that this area endured for so long. He used to live right there. And there's a beautiful tree planted in his honor with a plaque. This administration's focus on the revitalized downtown will have a positive impact for the whole city and the state, and not just our neck of the woods. Because every city needs a viable, vibrant center. Albuquerque has been decentralized for too long, and at long last, the true center of the city, Central Avenue and downtown, are experiencing the renaissance that's eluded it for so long. So thank you.
She's not on the agenda, but I want her to say something because she'll say something good about her folks. She always does. And they deserve it.
Well, I always have to give credit to my folks, but I want to begin today by telling you that 2.5 years ago when I became Director of Parks and Recreation, Mayor Barry said to me, you know, we have a great park system. We're building a lot of new parks and a lot of new recreation facilities, and that's really important. But do not neglect the older parts of the city and our older parks. And today you're standing in a perfect example of the Parks Department and the Mayor and Councilor Benton's dedication to the restoration and maintenance of the older parts of our city. I can't say enough about the dedication and skill and tenacity of David Flores and Susanna Abi and our designers, Greg Miller. There are not sufficient words to say the breadth of beautiful work. This is just another example that Greg Miller has done for the city, ably assisted by Will Moses, who I've known for years now. So it's a great pleasure for the department to be part of this celebration today. And again, many thanks to the Mayor and to Councilor Benton. This wouldn't happen without their support and dedication.
Thanks, Barbara.
Thank you.